experienced YouTubers. We have Soundwave SG1 and Zort Rider. So.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yep.
Cool. Thank you all for coming. This is a lot more than the 3 people that Tony predicted, but we all know we can't count, so there we go. Go away. So, if we start with the presentation first, we'll do a little bit of an overview of who we are.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know who we are, which you now all do.
Oh, the key
That's
one.
me. Oh, those are right.
Megaphone.
Zort Rider.
I'm going to kill you. You haven't seen the rest of it yet. So, Tony, do you want to kick off first with telling us a little bit about yourself?
Well,
Yeah,
of course, yeah. I'm Tony, Soundwave SG1. I'd like to feedback as well. Basically, I've been doing YouTube about since 2007, I think. I used to have another channel and it couldn't log into that, so I did Soundwave SG1, and I've just been getting like gangbuster views, particularly on my Star Trek reviews. So it's pretty good, and I do my TF Nation videos that everybody watches and gets people, you know, into the thing, and I get a lot of responses, which is always good. And I have my Sonic Screwdriver, so it's live on stage.
Cool. And I'm Zort Rider, so I've been doing YouTube for a couple of years now. Mainly just random stuff that I buy and taking the mick out of people like Tony. That's basically it. So yeah, that's it. In the real world I work in marketing, and in the real world Tony works.
I work at the Entertainer.
So there you are. So if anyone wants a discount off Tony after this, then have a video. Right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to do a little bit of an interactive quiz. Have you all got your mobile phones? Because if you have, I want you to search a website called Kahoot, if you can.
It's not porn,
It's not, unfortunately. Okay, so if we flick to Kahoot, and we've got some prizes to give away. So we've got the terrible Cyberverse Starscream that I did a review of. Tony's donated a Star Trek ship, which is...
It's the Mission Scout ship as seen in Star Trek Insurrection.
And we've also got some Transformers fidget spinners and some connector bots and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And it's really difficult to do this behind you. So... So, can we all put that game pin into your phone if you want to take part and have a chance to win a prize? The one person in the back that's doing it.
Freed, I'm trying to get it working.
Cool. Put your name in there. Okay, another few seconds and I'll press start. We've got 5 questions, and what you'll have to do is use your phone to vote for what you think the right answer is. Okay? Are you ready? So the first question is, who is the most handsome UK Transformers YouTuber? So we've got Third, we've got the Collector 75, we've got Ben's Collectibles Hefty Robust Hands, or we've got Who Cares, I'm Just Looking at the Toys. You didn't put me on there, well. He's not even in the top 100, to be honest with you. Everyone was right, it was a test question, it's fine. You all get points. Okay. Next question. This is really difficult to do, Elijah. Okay, so we've got Jonah who's winning at the moment, and Callum and Bob chasing him up from behind. Okay, how many YouTube videos has TFR Wellness made restoring his Ultra Magnus? Is it 1, 1971, or who? The answer is 7.
7. Lucky number 7.
Okay, so we've got Jonah still winning. What is Zortrider's most viewed video? Is it Cybertron Starscream, Cybertron Bumblebee, Jimbo Bruticus, or that one where he takes the mick out of everyone?
Takes the mick, surely.
It is my Cyberverse Starscream review.
Yeah.
There you go. Jack's now taking the lead.
It's making really. Going good.
Okay, what 2 things does Soundwave SG-1 teach us? Fashion and hairstyles, romance and love-making techniques, canteen and personal hygiene, or holiday and travel advice?
I'm going to seriously hurt you there.
Where's the all of the above?
It is, of course, canteen and personal hygiene. So Jack is still winning. Final question. Small YouTubers, Retro Prime and Borders News are from where? Wales, Ireland, Scotland or hell? It is, of course, Scotland. So, the winner is Jack, with Jonah in second place and WJB 1976 in third. Do you want to come up and collect your prizes?
You enjoyed that? It's a bit of fun.
Yeah? So that was good. We can have some. Okay, so Q&A. So we're going to split this up into 2 parts. The first part is going to be about YouTube and questions that we've had online or questions that we thought about. And then we're going to have some Transformer and TFM related questions at the end, if that's okay. So, how many subs does it take for you to no longer be a small YouTuber, Tony?
Well, I thought it was like at least 10,000 maybe, because then you can start, sort of actually earning money from this thing. And like what people have been saying, when you get that many, you can start doing it, without having to go to work and stuff. I don't know what I'm talking about next.
So what you're saying is you stop being a small YouTuber when you start to make revenue from it, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, when you start making actually proper revenue from it, I would think.
Okay.
Oh, what do you think?
1,000. Right. So yeah, I'd say 1,000. I've heard that before. I've heard a few people say it online, so I'll stick with that.
Fair enough.
All right.
Fair enough.
Cheers, Dan. What made you decide to start your channel?
Let you feel this one first.
Okay. To be honest with you, I went to the last AA, and for me it was all about buying toys. That's what it was all about. It wasn't about socialising with people. And after I went home, I felt really gutted that I didn't take more part in the socialising. And I saw a lot of videos on YouTube, and I thought, you know what, I'll give it a go. I'll do a whole video of it, and I'll try and be part of this wonderful community. And 2 years later, I've upset half of the of this wonderful community, but for the right reasons. And that's the reason why I started my channel, basically to be part of what all you guys love and take part in every single year. Tanner?
For me, really, I like to talk. I like to talk about robots and spaceships, and YouTube is a perfect outlet for that. So, and when and it's more about as well. It's just sometimes just getting stuff out there. It's like getting your thoughts and feelings out on a toy or a subject or something like that. And then when you get good feedback,
Like that?
When you get good feedback from the community and stuff like that, and then when doing the TF Nation videos, and then seeing other people make them is respond to one video, it's cool, and it gets people that you didn't necessarily know or hadn't seen before, and it gets you to watch those videos as well. And I've found found some great YouTube channels just by that alone. So, and I think the community is, one of the best. I think because we don't. Yeah, there's one or two out there that are kind of a bit hostile here and there, but for the most part, it's we're all here, we all like the same thing, and that's good.
Cheers, Simon. So, who has been your biggest influence?
Real and Mess, way back in the day. His videos were infectious, and it made me one of the reasons why I wanted to become a YouTuber in the first place, because he's just so infectious, so enjoyable, so enthusiastic about what he's talking about. It just made me want to go, you know what, I can do this thing, it's not hard. Get a camera, get a toy, and talk about it. Real and Mess, I think.
For me, it's probably Mr. Toy Grind sitting over there, simply because when I got back into collecting on my 30th birthday, I started to look for things that I really wanted from when I was a kid and all these other different toys, and whenever I searched that toy, his face popped up, so I couldn't get away from it really.
Sorry.
So, but then I started to watch his videos, and then like a lot of YouTubers, you start to watch them for them rather than the stuff that they're reviewing. And I think we all have our favourite YouTubers that we'll just sit and watch. If they were reviewing a piece of dog turd, we'd sit and watch it because of who they are and what they're bringing out into town.
Well, sometimes when they're talking about a toy that you have, it makes you want to get it off the shelf and play with it while you're watching it at the same time. And especially when you learn something new about,
Okay, you don't want to mention something like that.
you don't want to, come on, no smoke, please. But you basically get it down and have a mess with it and everything. Especially when you find something out that you didn't do and you think, oh, I didn't know you did that. It's a great thing.
Yeah. Cool. So next question was, or is, how do you plan your videos and what editing software do you use?
Well, basically it dictates if and when I get my ships through and post. Is one. I'm not getting into that now. Or, like I said earlier, if I've seen somebody record a G1 figure that I haven't, do you know what, I ain't done that one yet, I'll record that one, basically. And then I use Windows Movie Maker to edit my videos. But then again, I do, my intros are specific to what I'm talking about rather than having a standard intro. And that takes time to find the right clip, the right picture, the right music cue, and it can take a while. Especially on Movie Maker, it takes forever.
Okay. Well, for me, planning-wise, I don't write any scripts down before. I don't plan what I'm going to say as such. That's kind of off the cuff. It's when I have an idea in my head, normally about something funny, or I've watched someone else's videos, like Tony's or whoever's, and I've seen the clip I can use. I kind of base a video around that, and then potentially sometimes, like recently with the Cyberverse toys, I just went to Smith's on my lunch. And they were there, so I bought them and I thought I'd review them. But I don't really plan a structure to the video. What I'll do is I'll record sections and maybe re-record sections and just do it off the cuff, really.
I'm the same, I just do it off the cuff. And I basically what I do is if I make a mistake, I'll start the video from scratch. Even though I've finished the video, I go, nah, rubbish, delete it, start again. I'm not one of these that sits and edits it out. I'll movie make it, it's a pain. It's an absolute pain in the ass.
So I use iMovie. It's simple, it's easy, it's on most of the Mac and Apple stuff, so yeah. I use that one. It's pretty good to use. You can get some good techniques on there as well. So there we go. So that's that question. Where do you get your review ideas? This is one that you wanted to put in, wasn't it, Tony?
Yeah, I mean, most of the time, like I said earlier, it dictates on when I get my poster. So, but a lot of the time it's watching other YouTubers do a toy, or just simply like dusting, like took like 6 hours to dust my figures about 6 months ago. So I need to do it again. Yeah. But just like, I ain't seen that figure for ages and I forgot I had it, and then sometimes that'll be enough to go, right, review it, that's pretty much it, really.
And as I say, mine are mainly just stupid ideas and having a bit of a laugh. I mean, a bit like behind us now, you'll notice that Tony's sonic screwdriver has turned into an abacus. And you'll notice that change all the way through on the screen there. So it's just stupid ideas.
Yeah, I didn't see that.
No?
Best count of 2018, get off.
I did send it you to prove it, mate.
You did,
just
but I didn't see that one.
Okay, cool. But yeah, mainly by watching other videos and just having stupid ideas, really. That's where I get mine from. Okay. So what is the biggest challenge of being a YouTuber?
the biggest challenge is trying to stay fresh, I guess. Trying to be, keep giving...
Stay fresh.
Stay fresh. Thank you. You know I'm going to go. No, you've got to stay... You've got to be consistent, I think, as well. You've got to keep putting your videos out to get people to watch you. You can't, have 2 weeks off and go, oh yeah, I should do a video, But I mean, if that's your style, then keep to that style if it works for you. But for me, it's kind of like, well, I best get a video out there and then, do a transformer, do a ship, whichever's necessary, really. What about you?
I'll probably say there's 2 points. So the first one is negative comments. I think that's a little bit difficult to take, especially when it's unjustified. I remember on some of the Cyberverse ones, there was a few comments going, oh, you're reviewing them like a masterpiece figure and all that kind of stuff, and really quite negative. And actually, no, what I did was I reviewed it and I gave it to my son, who then broke it after 2 minutes. That's what I've done. So it's a bit like unjustified criticism. I'm all up for feedback. I'm all up for people saying, you know what, Rich, that's not a good idea, or you should do this, or maybe try that next time. And the other point has completely gone out my head. Oh well, never mind. What was the question again? Now it's gone. Right, let's move on. Okay, how do you promote your videos? I'll start this one. So, I've got a simple routine where I'll just take a screenshot, put it on Instagram, and then I'll put it on Twitter. And it's as simple as that. I don't have Facebook. I've been clean from Facebook for about 9 years now. And I don't use that, which is a bit of a shame. I think I'm missing out from that, because you get some stuff from Facebook, don't you?
Yeah, I get a lot of messages on Facebook about the videos and stuff. But I mean, I think because on Facebook you can create groups, so you can promote, self-promotion on there, which is quite a good outlet for that. But for me, I just go, yeah, I've done a video, watch it. But
Marketing genius, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it's usually because it's taking ages on Windows Movie Maker. I was like, just get it out there, go on now. But no, I mean, I put it on Twitter, I put it on all the Facebook groups, my Facebook page, and anywhere I can really, and watch it.
Okay. Cool. So, what's your advice to people thinking of starting a channel?
Don't run away as fast as you can.
Cheers, Tony. Do you want to take it?
Yeah, I can. Basically, if you want to talk about robots or video games or starships or whatever it is you want to talk about it. Pick up a figure and just start messing with it, and then think, you know what, I'm going to do a review and just start from there. And it doesn't matter what equipment you've got. If you've got a phone, you can get a selfie stick stand from Poundland. You put your phone in, it's on a tripod. So if you want to do it that way, which I do, it's the way I do it, technical and everything. And you just talk and do whatever makes you feel happy. You don't have to copy any style. Have a look, see what other people are doing, by all means, and think, well, that works for me, that doesn't work for me, and just go from there, really.
I think just to echo what Tony just said, it was just be yourself. Don't be afraid of trying, don't be afraid of what other people will say about your videos. Don't try and copy or be anyone else, don't try and be Toy Grind, don't try and be Ben's Collectibles, just be yourself. And you know what, people will support you, and that's been great for me, especially over the last, 6 to 12 months.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. When you get a message off, saying, oh, I love that video, and I'm the same with, if I get one view, I go, hey look, I've got a view, somebody's taking the time and effort to sit down, watch me waffle on about spaceship, and I think that's brilliant. If I get 100 views, I think 100 people have sat down, and watched me waffle on about spaceship. It's not about views. Don't think you've got to get the views, you've got to get subscribers. If you get 1 subscriber, that's brilliant. If you get 1,000 subscribers, that's brilliant as well.
It doesn't matter. As long as you're having fun doing it, then it doesn't really matter who's watching. Yeah.
That's it, yeah, just have fun, basically.
Cool. So, do you have a Patreon?
What's a Patreon? I don't understand. What's that about?
I don't know. Well,
is it when I go like that? Is that what it is?
What is that?
I don't know.
What was that arm movement?
I just forgot.
So tell me, have you got a Patreon?
I might have a Patreon, yes.
Okay.
If you'd like to donate, please, hit that link, I guess.
What link?
Legend of Zelda link.
Okay. So tell us why that you started a Patreon and what did you do?
Well, to be frank, it was because everyone was doing it, and I thought it was the thing to do. Because you see all these YouTubers that go, start, add to my Patreon and stuff like that. And I finally got one from you. Saw the notification yesterday.
Oh yeah, you got so basically I donated some money to him.
So, well, I thought it was the thing to do, and then I just got into the habit of saying it and adding it to it, and if I get 10 quid, that's, you know, I can buy a spaceship or a robot with that, you know.
Okay. Cool. So with me, I don't have one, and I've got a reason for that, and I don't want to criticise anyone who has got them and anyone who makes money from YouTube, because, you know, fair play, you're following your dreams and you're making a career out of this fun hobby. For me, I went to uni to do illustration, and it's something I loved. I loved drawing when I was a kid. It's something I never stopped doing. And as soon as I left university, I lost a love for it because I was being pressurised to do things that I loved for a reason, rather than just enjoying them. So this is something that I enjoy, and I go to work, I work hard, and I come home and I do this as a hobby, as a way to relax. So that's why I don't want them. As I've said before, if you like my videos and see you buy a homeless guy a cup of tea in the street rather than giving it to me, because I'm alright, I've got a camera, I can support my own videos and all that kind of stuff. It's just not something that I choose not to do. But everyone I support, and I think fair play to everyone who does that and does a career out of this.
Well, at the end of the day, it's got to be fun. When it stops being fun, that's when you should stop. When it becomes like, oh, not another video, you know, I've got to keep the pretense of. When it stops being fun, stop, take a break, and think, well, is this the thing what I want to do as well?
Yeah.
It's got to be fun, on it, at the end of the day.
I don't know if anyone's noticed that Tony's got something a bit lewd in his hand. But
Thank you.
okay. So, what Tony doesn't know is that I've made a little video for him. Hello everyone, it's Zortroider here. You know, the bloke who's on the stage with you right now, he's over there, looking a bit fatter in real life than he does on screen.
I didn't notice
We've
that.
just answered the Patreon question, me and my good friend Tony. So, I thought it'd surprise him with a little bit of a video. So, I don't know if any of you have ever visited Tony's Patreon page, but he hasn't had much luck, as you can see in this. But Tony, that's about to change, because you have just got your first patron. Hey! It's time to celebrate. Round of applause for Tony. You did promise that, so at the end of all your videos from now on, I want sort like that, because I'm paying for this.
Yes. Yes. Might not be called Zortroider, but you'll definitely get it.
Brilliant. Okay, so we've got some Transformers related questions now, and then we'll open up and answer any of the questions that you guys want to ask us. So, what is your Transformers grail?
I think everybody knows. Does everybody know? Correct, that's it. That's alright.
And does anyone know mine?
Yeah, you know what, you can't surprise.
Mine's G1 Swoop. It's one I've always wanted since I was a kid, and I've never seen it in the flesh. I bought one of the terrible knockoff ones once, and the beak fell off as soon as I took it out of the box.
Dotted!
Oh, we got Dory there.
Yeah, he's just looking at it.
There we go. So that's it for that one.
Well, what's your second grill if you can't say, for example...
I'm not for that.
You're not planning? What do you mean no? What do you mean no? You have to have a list.
A list?
A list.
What's a list?
A list.
Okay.
What's your second one, Tony?
Probably a Star Saver.
That's not after,
Probably a Star Saver.
Nick's got one of those as well.
Yes, I know. I'm a bit familiar. And I'm like, I think I'm going to...
I'll probably say 4 months, actually. G1 4 months. Well, I'll never get one of those.
No.
How about your third?
Third,
Might be here a while.
Branders. So all the expensive Japanese ones, essentially.
Okay. So Tony, what's on your TFN shopping list?
But yeah, I think. Because I could kill a plant right now. No,
I'll do a noise pack for how you hit me over the head like that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah. Well, as everybody knows, Black Zarek, I think. And basically just see what's in there. You know, go around and see what people are offering, and if I get something cool, then bonus. You know.
Cool.
It's all about the bar and interacting with people rather than shopping and stuff.
For me, I really want Power of the Promised Predaking. I know it looks a bit tacky in places, but I do want it, so I'm going to get it. And even though I'm not really too much into third party these days, I really want Fans Toys Dracula if it's about. I think that looks great, and it reminds me of one Christmas morning I opened up my wipe. It was the first present I opened one year now. I think it would be quite nice to get a better version of that. So they're the two things I'm thinking about looking for. Cool. Okay. What is your fondest Transformers childhood memory?
Oh, getting G1 Scorpion look on Christmas. It was just like, I got other presents that year and I just played with that all Christmas. And I still have it and it's complete and it's one thing I would never sell because of that.
Not even for Black Tie.
Not even Black Tie.
Peter Black and Gold, you're good.
I could do, but then it's not Scorpion, is it? No, it's just one of them fondest memories I've got. It's, you know, it's one of them you can't really describe. It's just, when I look at it, it's just, I've had that since I was a kid and it's complete as well, you know? And I just, yeah, it's one, if I had to sell everything, that's one thing I couldn't sell. What about you?
For me, it was to do with G1 Hook. So I remember going with my dad every Saturday for about 5-6 weeks and buying a Constructicon, and I couldn't find Hook anywhere. And there's a little place called Sutton Coldfield, not too far away from here, and there used to be a Woolworths there. And me and my dad were in there, and my dad spoke to one of the guys on the counter and said, "Have you got a Hook? Can you order one for him?" And she went, "Yeah, we'll order you one in, you'll be here in a week or so." And I remember being on the bus, travelling up to go and pick up this figure. And I got there, and they'd sold it to someone else.
Oh.
So, 7-year-old fat chunky Rich was crying his eyes up on the escalator.
Did you not burn the place down?
I wasn't an arsonist when I said. And I remember crying all the way home on the bus, and anyway, about a week later, at about 10 o'clock at night, there's a knock on the door, and it was the manager of Woolworths, and he bought one round and just gave it me free of charge. And I remember sitting there and just playing with it like until about 1 o'clock in the morning. I fell asleep with it in my hand. And it's probably one of my fun, even though it was traumatic at first, it was just so nice. And that was what was great about Woolworths, people that cared, and it's definitely my fondest memory.
Oh, that's brilliant. I've not been anything down.
Much better than yours, Tony.
Fine.
Which character would you like to be made into a toy that hasn't?
I'll have to think about that. You go first.
Okay. I'd like a Quintesson, to be honest. I know we've had Alpha Q, and I know we've had some third-party efforts, but I'd just like a Quintesson for my movie show, to be fair.
Yeah, that'd be quite good. Especially if he's got does the laugh as well.
Can you do that?
No.
Okay.
I'm going to be probably cliche, but a Masterpiece Galva show.
Okay. Cool.
Oh, is that it?
If you want to add to it. Okay, so that's the end of the questions that we have pre-planned. So does anyone want to ask us a question?
Questions, go on. Dave?
Fine gentleman over there, Gareth.
What made you decide you wanted to be famous in front of the camera rather than being one of those that
Dirty hands.
Honestly, I couldn't work out how the setup would work for me to stick my hands in front of a phone camera, so I just thought it's easier this way. What about you, Tom?
Well, I think it's personal, because when you watch somebody that's in front of the camera, they're talking to you rather than just disembodied hands. You know, it's you kind of like, I don't know, they're a bit clinical, aren't they, disembodied hands? I mean, there are exceptions to that. I mean, Graham Collector 75, Ben's Collectibles are different in that way, but you get a few that are just all about the toy, and you kind of think, well, I'm not really interested in this.
And I suppose it's what you're trying to do as well. I suppose the hands in front of the camera does work for if you want to show transformations or if you want to show off the toy more. But I suppose if you want, as Tony was saying, if you want to be more intimate with the audience and see a little bit more personality. And
well, that's it. Personality goes a long way.
Yeah.
Next question, Dave. I know you've stuck around.
Have you ever made a video that you thought people would really, really, really love, and then no one bloody watched it, and you just wanted to not ever do it again?
That's every single video I do, I think. It's every single video I do, I think.
I think it's probably a lot of the... I did the Micromaster Week not so long ago, and I just thought I'd jump on the bandwagon with the what's it called, Siege line. So I dug out my old Micromasters and I did a few videos each day, and even though it was great to get the odd 30 odd views and all that kind of stuff and get a lot of comments, it was just a bit disappointing for the effort that you put in. Filming for hours, editing for hours, and it just didn't feel great at the end of it. So I'll probably use that as an example.
I mean, I'm one of these, once it's out there, it's out there. If you watch it, watch it. If you don't. You know, I'm not like constantly looking at the numbers cracking up.
And I suppose, going back to that Micromaster one, it was a little experiment I run. I tried to do something daily, and you know what, I've got some learnings from it, and it didn't work so much.
I tried to do that. I tried to do a combine a week and then do, each member of the team each day, and it just descended into madness. I forgot which character was which, and which video was what, and I just went, you know what, delete that whole one.
Cool. Any more? Here we go. Let's do it first. This fine fella.
What is the hardest video that you've made, and what video of yours do you think is the hardest you had in making?
The hardest one to make? I did one not so long ago that was about Megatron picking his TFN crew, and I don't think many people watch that, but that was difficult because it took a lot of time to get the clips off YouTube and edit them. It took a lot of time to put my flat cap on and pretend it was a beret and all that kind of stuff, because I didn't know, find costumes and trying to look like an athletic Hollywood actor in that video that didn't work. So I'd say that was probably the most difficult because it took a lot of effort downloading and standing in my garden next to the shed pretending to be in the desert.
For me, we're going back to Star Trek, it's the Conan Enterprise, because I hate that design. It took me 10 takes to do that without having to grit my teeth, and because I just don't like the design.
Oh, you had a question over here, sorry.
What's your most controversial opinion on Transformers? I'm stirring discourse in this room.
Beast Wars is shit.
Get out!
Prime isn't a monkey, he's a truck, or maybe a fire engine, in my opinion.
I just don't feel with confidence, no. Beast Wars is shit, what are you talking about?
Shit.
Fight!
Take the tops off!
Finish it. Well, I do need to push him around a little bit, so it's not really controversial. I don't like the bear farmers. They're
You
shit.
like a bleeding monkey?
Yeah.
Okay.
Monkey's got personality, and
Rex, you're known for having wee jokes, wee japes.
Yeah.
From pancakes to Ellis. What's been your favourite wee skit, your favourite wee joke?
I think we've been playing it today, to be honest with you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think that one, not only because it got a good reaction from the person who was laughing, who received the joke, to be fair. I think it was because I worked with a good friend, Dave Shotton, who sang the song and everything like that. And it was like a little bit of a sneaky collaboration and giggling while doing it and trying to write some lyrics down about Tony.
The worst part of it is that it sort of slid under my radar. It slid under my radar for a while, and I didn't realise until like TF Nation last year, videos were popping up, and then I saw it and I went, what? Who is this sort rider? What's going on? And then I watched it and then just laughed my tits off, because I think the first one you did was the Stellar Atral one.
Yeah.
And I went, yeah, it's not wrong, man. Lawrence?
What's your favourite video you've made when you collaborated with another YouTuber on the topic of Transformers?
Favourite YouTuber we collaborated with? Well, in terms of a review, or just collaborated in general?
Collaborating, say if it was a live vlog or a simple sort of conversation, podcast.
Oh, that's a good question. I don't have an answer for.
I've probably got a couple. So, cover your ears if there's any children here, but I was part of a group called Robot Wankers, which was me, Retro Prime, Borders Dude, and Dave Shotton, Junkhead Dave, and we did a review each month, and I really enjoyed doing the Jimbao Bruticus review, simply because me, Dave and John had both ordered it at the same time, and we all collaborated and did our own video, so that was good. And the other night, Emily and Dave did a podcast, which was a load of fun, and something I want to try and do again, so if Emily's up for it, that'd be good. So, yeah, those are the two.
I haven't really got one because nobody invites me on anything.
You've done some live.
You could say this.
You've done some live.
Oh, yeah, of course, yeah. Yeah,
You've been
live
on, you've
streams.
been on live with me.
Yes, I have, yes. Sorry. I had a drink yesterday, come on now. Yes, Lawrence, yes, with you guys, yeah, I did forget about that, I'm so sorry.
That's all right.
Sam, Team Edward.
If Soundwave FG1 and Zoltrada were locked in a room with only a webcam and a laptop, what would happen?
Oh God.
Basically, Station would have to shut down because we'd steal all our views.
I don't know how to answer that question.
Lots of subscribers, lots and lots of subscribers and views.
Yeah.
At least you know what spelling there.
I'll teach you how to count.
1, 4, 7. I don't know. To be fair, even on the run-up to this panel, we've had one phone conversation, haven't we?
Yeah, it's just getting the time and busy and just not being able to just get the timing right, really. Stupid real life.
Sorry, that wasn't a very good answer.
No, sorry. Next question.
Out of all of the TF YouTubers that you know, and it's not a question you should ask, but is there anybody that you absolutely hate because of their reviews and what they say?
Ooh. I'll let you go first.
Soundwave SG1, can't stand it. It's harping on about Star Trek bloody ships, I'm sick of it.
Thank you. Now, that guy, Zoltrada, he keeps...
I just did that joke.
I don't think we can answer that, because...
You know what, I think that you watch people's videos and you start off and there's a lot of new YouTubers and you first watch them and you think, okay, right, maybe Dave said to me once that I need to get better lighting on one of my videos and all that kind of stuff, and you start to notice those things from people starting off. But I wouldn't say there's necessarily anyone that I dislike. I think it's turned that question around. It's more like it's nice to see people grow and to see all the newer people this year. I can see Rudy over there. How you doing, man? Watching that man's videos and seeing how he's come on from his first video is really, really fun to see, and that's what I enjoy seeing. I don't look at a video and think, no, I don't like that.
This whole thing's a learning curve. You've got to start, you know, with just the basic stuff. And then you migrate to that, you migrate to something better, and you learn from your mistakes and make it better and better. I think it's, learning curve. Any more questions? Lawrence again.
What mistakes have you made in the past on YouTube, and how did you learn from them to correct them in your future videos?
Any mistakes? I mean, a fair few. Basically, it's watching the videos back after they're put on YouTube, because you think, well, because when you record it and edit it together and stuff, you think, oh, it's brilliant. And then somebody will point out, oh, you might be talking over your intro a bit, because you mentioned that to me a couple of times. And it's got better, it's still not perfect, it's got better. But yes, constructive criticism is always welcome, you know, and then you go, oh yeah, that is a bit long, that intro, I'll trim it a bit, or get better lighting, and just, you know, like I said, learn from mistakes, I guess.
I think for me, and I will bridge it happened last year, is that I thought people were laughing along with the jokes and they weren't. It was actually upsetting some people. And what I've learned is you take the mick out of people who you know will see the funny side of it.
Absolutely.
And don't push it up with people who don't find it funny, and that's okay. You've got to respect people's feelings. So that's the biggest thing that I've learned.
Any more questions? Yeah, go on.
Was it me?
Yeah, it was, yeah, sorry.
Great. Stu, the main fidget spinner enthusiast. Just basically, where do you guys see the future of YouTube Transformer reviewing going? Because do you guys, with kind of like how the main line is kind of moving more to basic Transformers with one steps and that, how many more times can you basically review a one-step Transformer? So how will you guys adapt really to the franchise changing?
It's a good question, and I suppose that's been happening for the last, 30 odd years. The line's been changing, it's been adapting.
Transforming?
Do you want a prize, But it has been, and you're right, we've seen some utter tap over the last couple of years. But, in fairness, for those of you that's got little ones, that tap is so entertaining for a 2-year-old, or a 3-year-old, or a 4-year-old. Imagine when you were a kid, if you had a one-step change and you could flip over with just a few movements. Even though it's tap to some people, it's great for kids. But all we can keep doing is, in every line there is a shining light, and every year we'll get new toys released, and I see it just continuing as it is, really. I mean, there will be bad toys, there'll be good toys, but we'll just keep reviewing the ones that we like, and it doesn't matter if you like a toy and I don't, or vice versa.
Well, sometimes it's fun to take the piss out of a shit toy as well.
Yeah.
You know. Pretending a classic Grimlock is one.
And how do you use Pretender Classic Grimlock?
Shit.
Okay.
But I love it, it's in its shitness, you know?
Yeah. Young man at the back.
Will it ever be too early for a TF.Spacestation-Online video?
No.
He'll probably do one tomorrow, won't he?
I went till Tuesday morning.
I think Bisto did one at the bar the other year, didn't you? Yeah. Any more? Oh, loads more. Yeah. You pick one, Tom.
Yeah.
We all sometimes break a transformer when we haven't transformed it in a while. Or what's the most heartbreaking damage you've ever inflicted on a figure in trying to transform it in a review, or maybe not in a review?
I was planning to do Bruticus review, and I snapped the head off Vortex. But luckily, Colin Duff had a spare, and he gave me a spare head, and I just unscrewed it, put it back in, jobs are good, and he's probably going to stay on Slot's arm for the moment, I think. I don't really want to risk that again. And in the same instant, I sliced a bit of plastic off Brawl. I was like, how? Just under his, on the top of his chest, like a big, like, sort of round slice come off. It's a bit weird. But luckily I had a spare Brawl, so...
For me, it's gold plastic syndrome.
Yeah.
So,
I'm scared of that.
My G2 Superion,
Yep.
or I can't remember, it's Slingshot, isn't it?
Slingshot.
He fell literally that far and shattered. And my Pyro as well, I tried to take the gold gun out of Pyro and it just
Ouch.
Yeah, so...
The lesson there, don't touch gold plastic at all, ever. Just look at it.
Okay.
Or you could get a G1 knockoff, not knockoff, Junker Slingshot, made in gold, jobs are good.
Well, luckily I managed to get him into combined man, so he's never moving again.
Fair enough.
Okay,
Question?
lady in the end.
I wanted to ask, what is your favorite type of t-shirt or shirt that you wear regularly use?
Well, my favourite t-shirt at the moment is this one that I'm wearing. Because it's informative, it talks about Tony teaching people how to count, and all about personal hygiene.
Yeah. T-shirts, like, it all depends on what I'm wearing that day, usually. Because I've got, I've been sort of wearing a Star Wars t-shirt, to have more Star Trek, so,
I know Dorian's favourite t-shirt that I wear was a sleeveless vest that I wore in one of the videos. Because he never said something about it.
That's me, I've written that one.
Alright, I think we've probably got time for another 2 questions, so...
Gentleman at the back, in the yellow.
When I was younger, I always wanted a Megatron to go because they never let me have one. What were you never allowed as a child?
Well, because usually when I ask for something, I got it, or unless either for birthday or Christmas, I don't know, but yeah.
I think
No, I'm not particularly rich, but just Christmas, you know.
I think there was one thing that I always wanted that I never got, and that was, and I can't remember the name of it, but it was one of the visionary ships.
Dagger of Salt.
Yeah, I think it was, yeah, with the yellowy orange dude that turns into a reptile. It was one of those.
Cravex.
No, it wasn't Cravex, it was a big...
The Recon, that's it.
Yeah, I forget what it was called, but I really wanted that one. I remember one Christmas I had every single visionary figure, but that one. Bleeding parents, I swear.
The only thing I didn't get as a child was the G1 Soundwave, and that's only because my parents couldn't find it. It wasn't as if they could go on eBay or on Amazon back then. So I think that's the only thing I didn't get is just because availability, I guess. Well, you know.
Okay, last question. Gentleman in the middle.
Okay. Is there a figure that you've reviewed that you really like, but generally the Transformers audience and the collectors don't like? One that's not liked, but you really like it, and why?
Generally not liked, but I like it. There's a few. I have to think of one. You go.
I suppose it's not about the figure, but it was about what type of figure it was, and Dorian will know about this, is that I really like my KO knockoff Masterpiece Starscream, and then I got ripped apart by that Scottish man over there. So, what did you say? That it was damaging the community, I believe it was. So I think I love that toy, and I've got a few knockoffs and all that kind of stuff, but other people hated it simply because of it being a knockoff and all that kind of stuff, which I understand completely. It's personal choice.
Well, I quite like Titans Return 6-shot, but I get a lot of negative reviews about that one. It's rubbish. Silence. Although the submarine mode, or whatever they try to call it, it's clearly a gun.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So, before you go, we go, can you all clear your voices? Because we all need to have a little bit of sing before we go. 3, 2, 1. Teach me how to count. And on that first line, teach me how to count. So tell me what's the story against you. Thank you everyone. This has been really humbling to see you all turn up. Just to a couple of slightly chunky men who make videos in the bedroom. So thank you so much. I hope you have an amazing weekend. And come and speak to us.